All right, Rick, as we've seen several properties with you today, some of the things that come across our minds is you've got to be managing an inordinate amount of people as well as construction crews. There's got to be many points that we keep in mind when managing people, managing crews, and keeping this all together. What are some things that you can tell us about to be able to keep things flowing properly, keep each project moving along properly? Sometimes you got to crack the whip, sometimes everything runs slowly. What types of things do you run into and have to look out for?
Well, before I answer that, I actually want to share with you the management of a construction business, which is basically what you're getting into when you deal with bulk. Believe it or not, actually, that's one of the main reasons why investors who try to become active because they want their money to work for them in the real estate business end up looking for a company like ours and entrust us to do it, because they realize what a hassle it can be if you don't have the systems in place. And that's really what this comes down to, is having the systems in place. So when you go to a project area like this, for example, where you have about 10 transactions a month plus, what ends up happening is that you have multiple crews that you have to manage on a regular basis. You have to manage a schedule of where they're going to be, the next project they're going to, a timeline of construction. And many times you have different specialists. So some will deal with the main painting, some are electricians, some deal with the roofs. And so you also have to coordinate between each one so that they'll come in, then the next one comes in, then the flooring guy comes in. And so in order to accomplish that, we use different softwares that help us to track every file where we're at. That's how we keep all the information in our actual software, so that even though I'm technically 2 hours away from this particular market and we have a lot of influence here, I can log in from anywhere on my phone and actually get data on what the progress status is on the rehab. One of the other things that we incorporate is that we have a local manager who deals directly with the contractors. So basically that person is the boss when it comes to dealing with these actual contractors. We do that because if they start talking to me, then they play the little games with mommy and daddy. When daddy says no, then they go to mommy. When mommy says no, they go to daddy. And so a lot of these contractors, unfortunately, act like that. So when you have one boss that they have to deal with directly, it makes it easier, because they know that when that person says yes is yes, when that person says no, it's no. Another element that we have that we've incorporated is we actually have our project management team. So in other words, for every 40 homes or so, we have one full-time staff member responsible for overseeing the actual local person who's managing the rehab crews. And what that allows us to do is to have an additional layer of transparency, an additional layer of management, so that we don't drop the ball. And in the event that we make mistakes, that team member will catch it and help us to correct it before it could be costly or too late. So it is quite a bit of a work, but when you're dealing with bulk like that, you have a local person who deals with all the management of the construction crews, who deals with the inspections of the properties, while you have the person in the office managing the progress from that individual and managing the rehab budget. And that's crucial.
I got all these pictures.
Yeah, this place is a mess. I mean, I don't even remember, because it wasn't even wet back then, so it was crap before that, so I can't imagine you really good.
You got the before pictures. You got the before pictures.
Yeah.
So no, the after is definitely in that kitchen, which
We're not doing it yet. Yeah, that was a trip. If you really look up at the ceiling, you can see how I had to box it in.
Yeah, I see.
If you put a level under it, it's all level. But it's just the ceiling. I didn't know what I was going to do. I actually put it down and I came in the next day.
The magic. No, man, well, we'll get out of here, man. Thanks so much. Nice to meet you. Yeah, likewise, man. Take care. Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Check.